Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash. And of course, I want to say Shalom to Aknakwat out there, pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. And I don't have a title for this one yet, but this one's coming from a post I happened to find earlier today on Instagram that I thought was a little bit interesting. I got it pulled up on the screen right now, and I guess it's from this individual, however the hell whatever this is supposed to be, alright? And, it says, CIA recruit hoping to do cool James Bond shit, disappointed to learn the agency is just full of internet trolls now. Now, regardless how true, these articles are, sometimes these articles are a little fabricated, but regardless how true it is, this is the type of stuff that they actually do. Okay, this is the type of stuff they actually do. And it's part of the whole PSYOP thing, which is short for, PSYOP is short for psychological operations. Okay, now it's officially a lot of people like to say, oh, there's no PSYOPs, there's no psychological operations being had. But it is actually an official division of the U.S. military, I think under the Army. You can go and look up psychological operations. Okay, it says, now it's going to have, its version of it. It says psychological operations are planned tactical actions used to convey specific information to foreign audiences. Now, notice how they use the term foreign audiences. They're not just doing it to foreign audiences, they're doing it to domestic audiences as well. Okay, one of the biggest test subjects is the American citizen, right? Our food is a test, everything's a test, all right? Saying what bounds they can push the human bodies to before it caps out and all that stuff. So, let's see, psychological operations, United States. Now you can see right here, look, Army. Excuse me. I guess they're actually each branch has it. So you got the Army, 4th PSYOP Group, the 8th PSYOP Group. You got the Air Force, the 193rd Special Operations Wing. You got the Marine Corps Information Operations Center. Of course, some in the Reserve, United States Army Civil Affairs and Psychological Operations Command. And then in the Navy Reserve, you got Naval Reserve Atlantic Fleet PSYOP Audiovisual Unit. What else? Look at their mottos: persuade, change, influence. The Air Force is never seen, always heard. So, I mean, think about it. Think about what it is. So they're actual divisions of the military. Now they're going to say that they're doing other things, that they're actually, they'll say, oh, for the Army, psychological operations would be getting these giant speakers and blasting them 24/7 and keeping the enemy away. Yeah, sure, that's a psychological operations. Psychological operation, but there are also other governmental psychological operations that are currently happening throughout the United States that they're not going to let the citizens know. It's the same thing with how the CIA and FBI and all their documents, they've been a lot of things have been released that were happening in the 60s and 70s, but but what's being done now that, again, we don't have access to. And again, the things that they actually do release are highly redacted, and they're highly tailored for approval for public viewing. And again, it's part of that rubbing it in your face, really. All right, the wicked boasts of his heart's desire. Okay, let's go and get that. And because that's what they do, and that's how we find out about these things. You say, well, how do you find out about these things? Well, it's not that we have, necessarily, other than, of course, this the Holy Spirit that allows us to go to these scriptures. It's not like we have anything like access to anything that regular individuals don't have access to, right? You can go on Wikipedia, you can go and look on these websites, you can go and read a book, you can look at books, buy books, right? There's plenty of different things to do. It's just a lot of people don't understand, they cannot interpret them, or, don't want to believe. There's many different reasons, right? That these are the things that are going on, okay? So when, for example, Esau lets things slip through the cracks all the time. And again, it's not that we have anything specifically special. I mean, we do, because at the end of the day, the Lord, Yahweh Shai Shai, through giving us the Holy Spirit, revealed, scriptures unto us, and through that mystery, we also, are able to get that history as well, and like weigh it through the truth and through scripture, and be able to get a deeper understanding of it. But what I'm meaning is source material, right? We don't have access to source material other than the Bible. Well, technically, I mean, you have access to that as well. You just can't interpret it well. But we don't have access to any source material that you don't have access to. We have the Bible, you have the Bible, we can just interpret it, you can't. And it's the same thing when it comes to, and that's part, Yahweh Shai has allowed us that as well, as, an open mind and open ears. Now, I don't really say open mind, because in the true sense of the word, because if you have an open mind, your brain would fall out. Open mind means you're allowing any doctrine to just flow in your brain. What I will say is a perceptive mind, not an open mind, but a perceptive mind that is able to see what is really going on. And they're right out in the open. I mean, you don't really have to look too far. For example, when Bill Gates said he was going to get the population down using, the sticky sticks. Another thing would be Biden with the Nord Stream pipeline. He said, if they continue to do this, there will be no Nord Stream pipeline. And, people really don't know what these individuals talking about. I mean, they still don't know who blew up the Nord Stream pipeline, when it was pretty clear, all right, what country had the involvement on doing that. Oh, excuse me, keep yawning, my bad. But and then the other thing, but Bill Gates has said a whole host of shit, but people don't see it. Okay, and you question, well, why would they do that? Why would they say those things? If it's so hidden, why are they releasing these things? Well, they have to, right? Psalms 10:3, it says, "For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth." So why did the wicked boasteth of their heart? First, the thing that you need to realize is that the earth is given in the hand of the wicked, that Esau was called the border of wickedness, and that the so-called white man is Esau Edom, okay? Which would also make them the wicked, okay? And with that, all throughout the scripture, you see the wicked. Now, there are some times where the wicked is referring to a body of individuals. For example, the wicked of Israel, the wicked individuals of Israel, or the wicked of a group of people. But it's just saying, it's in general speaking of the wicked, or like the wicked one, the wicked people, who that wicked are. That's Esau Edom, all right, the border of wickedness. That was the title that was given to them, all right. They are the wicked. Okay, they're also known as the devil. All right, and the devil is also known as Satan. And from time to time, now again, you have to be able to differentiate scriptures, because sometimes it's talking about the spiritual demon Satan, which is, of course, the spiritual. It's like, the spiritual demon Satan. It's not necessarily a man, but a force that works for Yahweh Shai. And then you have as a man, all right, which was Esau Edom, because he's whose ways is after the workings of Satan. All right, that's Esau Edom. And what they do is, because Esau Edom, the wicked, another thing about them is he is a proud man, okay, who enlargeth his desire as hell. All right, this is Habakkuk 2:5. It says, "Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. Neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied." So he's as death, and he cannot be satisfied. He's unsatisfiable. Okay, he's unsatiable. It says, "But gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people." There's another scripture I think of, but it's not necessarily coming to mind. It's in the archive somewhere, but so Psalm 10:3, jumping back into that, it says, "For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire." And what does that mean? It means whatever he desires deep within him, he's got to boast about it. He's got to talk about it. If he's going to go and blow up a hospital full of small children, sure, he could do a covert operation and he could keep it silent, but he's got to tell you about it. He's got to say something, all right? He's got to tell you about it, and he's got to make it known. Because why? Because he's just got to. All right, that's one of the things, and that's how these things slip out. It's because of that. It's that pride. All right, and one of the things with pride is boastfulness. Okay, you're trying to make yourself, oh, look, I did this. Look, I did this. And Esau, he can't just do all these things and have no one to brag about it to. All right, he's got to boast about it. So who does he boast about this to? To the same people that he's doing it to, which is fucking hilarious. All right, let me grab that. Let me grab this water here. Slack you. But he's got to boast about it, and who can he boast it to? You know, they boast amongst themselves as well, but they want to put it in a move that mic. They want to put it in a have it in a higher regard, so they boast to this very same people that it affects, and they use things like these psychological operations, and they use things like, you know, the CIA, and they think, you know, like, oh, they thought they were going to be doing James Bond shit, you know, Men in Black, all this. You're not doing any of that. You're not doing any of that. One of the big operatives of the United States government is making sure that people, me and my wife were actually just talking about this earlier, is keeping people divided. The more you keep people divided, the more they won't work together, all right? And that's because people working together scares the living shit out of them, okay? If you have the rich people working with the poor people, all right, and the poor people working with the middle class, all right, and the black people working with the so-called white people working with the so-called black people, all right, who are all working in turn with the so-called Latinos and Latinas, right? In turn, who are also working with the Native Americans. That's going to be a horrifying situation, all right? You're going to want to people keep divided. As a matter of fact, that was in one of the letters, Roman letter. Roman letter about not giving slaves different outfits. Who was that? Yeah, Seneca. De clemency. Yeah, that's the one. It was a letter that he wrote to someone, or someone wrote to him. Let me see. I'm not gonna go and try to find it, but it's De Clementa, book 1. Well, let's see. Let's see if I can find it. De Clementa, De Clementia online. Or a PDF. Let's see, English. Maybe it is just here. So, okay. Book 1. Section 24. Let's see. Where's my little, let's see. Drop my Bible here. It has my little Roman numeral guide in it as well. So 24 is what? would be XX. The XXIV. Yeah. XXIV. I'm still trying to learn Slovakia. I'm still trying to learn the Roman numerals a little bit better so I can navigate my 1611 KJV a little bit better. So XXIV. Okay. 10, 20. V is 5. But when you have a lower number to the left of it, you subtract that. Okay. So instead of this being a 5, it would be a 4. Alright. So 10, 20. 4. All it is math. So it says a proposal was once made in the Senate to distinguish slaves from freemen by their dress. Okay, this is again, they got to keep people divided, and this is Rome, mind you. It's the same thing that we're in now. Okay. It says a proposal was once made in the Senate to distinguish slaves from freemen by their dress. It was then discovered how dangerous it would be for our slaves to be able to count our numbers. Be assured that the same thing would be the case if no one's offense is pardoned. It would quickly be discovered how far the number of bad men exceeds that of the good. Many executions are as disgraceful to a sovereign. Let's see. Really, I mean, this one's, the wording on it, it's a little weird, but basically, what was said was that, if you were to distinguish the slaves' dress, all right, for example, put them all in orange shirts, they would soon realize that they outnumber their captors. And that's what happens. It's the same situation. It's that same Roman ideology. Today, they got to keep us fighting, because if we stopped fighting and looked around, we would realize that we greatly outnumber them. Okay, they're wanting to not pay us for our jobs. They're wanting to do all this. Well, we go and just take it. Okay, now again, another thing on top of that is that the Lord's not going to allow something like that. He keeps us divided. What do you mean the Lord keeps us divided? He brings and sows division? In a way, think that I am come to bring peace, rather a sword, or another one says rather division. Okay? So division. So the Lord's going to bring division. Right here, Luke 12 and 51, it says, suppose ye that I am come, this is Yahushua, and he is coming back soon, mind you, with those chariots, all right, as a whirlwind, as a flame of fire, all right. It says, suppose, as birds flying, all right. Luke 12 and 51, it says, suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? I tell you, nay, but rather division. So, yeah, there's not going to be peace on earth. There's going to be division, all right? And there's already division now, and the Lord keeps us divided. Again, why does he keep us divided? Because, again, if that's just the way his will goes out, okay? And because if everybody was to gather together, nothing, the way he wants it to go down would not be able to go down, all right? If he just gave us the free will to be able to do that, because then you could just... Hell, if everybody gathered together, hell, you couldn't. The forces of this world would be completely dismantled. I mean, you can't have somebody telling you what to do, or trying to create laws when you have a group of, however many million people that are just ready to go around and tirade and crusade on the belief of fair treatment. A lot of people are pissed off. A lot of people are completely done, man. If you talk to these individuals, go talk to somebody who does work in retail, man. These people are done. Okay, they're not getting paid enough. They're working too long. The hours are too long. They're not being there with their family. Hell, that's what I'm going through currently. Right? I'm making decent money doing it, but I mean, some people don't even make the decent money. Hell, all things considered, I'm really not even making decent money from it, because I should be making a lot more than I should. But Esau doesn't pay fair wages. Okay, so there's another thing. Nobody's getting paid fair wages. You get all these people together, and they're able to just go and storm the Capitol, and go and storm through these different places and say, hey, you need to fucking pay us fairly right now. We the people are pissed off, right? We the people, right? All that bullshit. all these different things about forming a militia. You can't do those things now. Those were statues of a bygone era. You try doing that now, and that's what I was, speaking to my wife about. You have all these things like, oh, you can form a militia, and you can actually go up and overthrow the president, according to the Constitution. But if you tried doing that now, you'd be shot. All right, but back in the day, you could actually do it, and then it's just there was a bunch of shit we bullshitted about, but it's one of those things, and it's because people are so divided, and the Lord's got to keep people divided so His will can go out. Because if people gathered together, the first thing people would do is they would go and overthrow the government. That's the very first thing people would do, because they're sick of it. All right, they're sick of the low pay. They're sick of not being able to afford a house. They're sick of not being able to buy a car. All right, they're sick of they're sick of everything. They're sick of this whole fucking place. All right, they want to burn it down. They want to set it off and burn it down. You got people that are destroying flock cameras. These people are fucking highly upset. These people are pissed off. They're losing it. They are losing it. Okay? And it is the CIA's job to make sure you continue to lose it. You continue to stay divided. You have the blacks against the whites, and there's already going to be that natural animosity because, again, Jacob and Esau, right? But Esau and their CIA, they do agitate it. Oh, excuse me, right? It's like, think about a wound. A wound's there. It's, it is there. I mean, it's not something to be ignored. It is there. It could, you got to watch it, all right? Anything can happen. You get infected, but Esau is the wound poker, okay? Imagine you have that wound, poke at it with dirty, dusty fingers and get grime up in there. That's just going to make it worse, all right? I mean, it's already a wound, all right? It's already a scab, but you're going to go over there and make it worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, and that's what Esau likes to do. Yeah, of course we're going to have they're going to have a natural animosity against us, all right, because they had a perpetual hatred, okay? And being that they had a perpetual hatred, we're going to have, and this is not scripture verbatim, but we're going to be perpetually untrusting of them, okay? Because you can't trust them. They could do anything. They could be nice one moment, and then they could be flipping out and being wicked the next moment. You can't trust them, all right? And that's why there's several scriptures about not trusting the enemy, and not trusting in these wicked individuals is because, again, that's their modus operandi. That's their methods of operation. That's how they get down. And so little bit of a rambly opening there, but these are concepts that we're already familiar with. Okay, so here's a couple things. It says Langley, Virginia. It says a CIA recruit, Harry Garcia, arrived at the farm Monday expecting to spend his career seducing foreign diplomats, parachuting into hostile territory, and receiving mysterious briefcases handcuffed to international arms dealers. Instead, his supervisor handed him an open desk, a company-issued MacBook, and a spreadsheet titled Operation Comment Section. And I'm sure it wasn't actually naming that. This guy has to have some form of secrecy, right? I mean, this is the type of stuff they could just say this guy was bugged out and he's crazy, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And everybody would believe it. Again, that's part of those psychological operations. So it says, I honestly thought there'd be lasers, Garcia said while attending his third mandatory seminar on meme warfare optimization. There you go. And they use these memes, right? It says, I've spent 6 months learning surveillance tradecraft, only to discover my primary mission is arguing with strangers in Facebook comment sections about regional elections, that word right there, and whether DMT entities are sentient beings or projections of the psychonaut imagination. Agency officials reportedly assured the recruit that modern intelligence work had evolved. It evolved into just digital psyops. It says, why infiltrate governments when you can simply convince millions of people that having universal health care is a Chinese psyop? Ooh. Excuse me. So, shows you right there that they're convincing the American peoples. It says, explained one senior analyst while simultaneously operating 37 anonymous X accounts and moderating a psychedelic stock subreddit. It's dramatically more cost effective. It says international documents reveal that new recruits now spend 80% of the time generating rage bait, trying to purposely piss people off, right? Another thing is that it's setting races against each other. They try to do that, all right? So I got to stop replying to that shit. You see that shit on threads. A lot of that could just be a psyop. That could just be a CIA bullshit. It says manufacturing AI, stop editing and misleading TikToks, and deploying LLMs, that's limited language modules, it's AI, to AstroTurf DEA. Cut off, but it says several psychedelic influencers later confirmed they had unknowingly spent years arguing with the same CIA employee across Reddit, Instagram, and YouTube. There you go. Let's see, what else do we got? Yep. But that's the way they do it, and that's part of that secret council, man. It's part of the secret councils. That it comes from the top. It comes from the Small Hatters, right, 1948ers, and they do these things as well as their little employed lackeys. All right, that's what they do. And so Psalm 64:2, it says, "Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity." And that's what they are. They are workers of iniquity. Iniquity is sin. They are workers of sin. They bring sin to light. They think about it. They, think about different ways to do it, and that's what they do, right? And this is part of that. That's part of the secret counsel of the wicked. Do you know where these people live? No. Do you know what they're 100% doing? No. So that is the secret council, all right, or at least some individuals within that body of individuals of that council. Okay, so that's what they do, and this is the type of shit they do. They do psychological operations. They go out and they say all sorts of heinous shit, arguing about Nolan Wells and arguing about Carmelo Anthony, and have you up in arms, spitting on the comment board and fussing and getting all pissed off and mad about everything. And that's how they want you, man. They want to inspire that anger. Okay, so let's get Luke 8:17. Ooh, man. Luke 8:17, it says, but of course, through Yahweh Shem Yahushai, these things have been revealed to us. All right, Esau wasn't so slick; they weren't able to get away with it. The Lord said, hey, check these things out. All right, of course, he didn't physically speak or literally speak to us like that, but he shows us things spiritually. Hey, check this out. Look at this, and we're able to weigh it through Scripture. Example: Luke 8:17. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything that hid that shall not be known and come abroad. So these devils aren't going to be able to hide anything. It's eventually going to slip out. It's eventually going to come up through the cracks. It's eventually going to be revealed, and there's nothing that they can really do about it. No, too bad, so sad, see you wouldn't want to be here. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can say about it, and that's just how it goes. All right, but anything that you're doing behind closed doors, even the CIA, this what do you want to call it? Not planned opposition, in a way, kind of, but that's what they do, right? Or paid opposition. That's what they do. They have these guys that go over there and argue. All right, another thing you want to know if they do. Another thing that they do. They have realistic face masks these days. They can look like anybody too. They can go and commit crimes. They can, artificially inflate criminal statistics. That's another thing. If they wanted to do, that's something that they could do. It's not beyond them. I'm not saying that they are doing it currently, but it's something that they could do. Okay, but then we'd find out about it eventually. So let's get let's get Proverbs 6:19 6:16 through 19. Verse 16, it says, "These 6 things doth the Lord hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue," so there's one right there, "and hands that shed innocent blood." We can really get into all these if you want to get down to it, because they all match up with Esau. and they do everything the Lord hates. It says, a heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief. It says, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. And again, that being that these Edomites are masquerading as us, okay, who's the brethren? Well, for us, we know who the brethren is. All right, the brethren is the brothers and also sisters that are in this truth. Okay, that's what it is. All right, primarily brethren is men, but it can also refer to women, sowing things between one another, trying to sow discord. All right, and discord is what? It's basically wickedness. It'd be quicker if I just. Discord, a lack of agreement, harmony, and trust between two people. So they sow this. All right, they want a lack of agreement, a lack of harmony, and a lack of trust between individuals. That's what they want. It says, so that's the last one for that one. But let's see. It says, I've been using memes and propaganda for years, trying to desensitize us to sensitive issues like the Epstein files. When you see an Epstein meme, just remember, it's propaganda. You see all people going into it, man, because they're sick of it. They're sick of it. And again, that's part of, all things being revealed. So let's get Proverbs 16 and 27 through 30. And it says, an ungodly man diggeth up evil, and his lips there is as a burning fire. A froward man soweth strife, and a whisper separateth chief friends. A violent man inciteth his neighbor. And that's really what they do. They like to incite violence as well. It says, and leadeth him into the way that is not good. He shutteth his eyes to devise froward things, and moving his lips, he bringeth evils to pass. So, there you go. That's what he does. That is what he does. Sowing strife. What is strife? A heated, bitter, or violent disagreement. Conflicts, right? Struggle between people, groups, or forces. Starting to make all sense now. Starting to make all the sense now. That's what they do. Alright, that's what they do. That's how they are. That's how they act. And another reason why these devils gotta go, man. They gots to go. They gots to go. They gots to. I guess that's all I had. Yeah, I guess that was that one. So anything else? No, not too much. So yeah, man, how long we end up going for? Just probably like 30, 34 minutes or something like that. Yeah, almost exactly 33 minutes and about 30 seconds. So that's the lesson, man. So just watch out. All right, let's watch out with these. You go, and I this is also for me as well. This is a good learning lesson. When you go and you see some dumbass Edomite say something about Jake in some way, Noel Wells, this and that, and you actually say, oh, well, it's this, that, and that. They're just trying, all you are to them is just a test subject. Okay, that's what they're doing. They're putting those things out there so they can sow strife, so you can believe it, and then you go and talk some shit in your buddy's ear, and he talks shit in his buddy's ear, and so on and so forth. Just don't do it. All right, don't let them get you like that. Okay, so just know that half the people you're arguing with online, if you do argue, they're not real. All right, they're bots, or if they're not bots, they're CIA operatives. So don't even pay them no mind. So, and then the Lord's going to deal with these individuals, quickly, because you can't run a society like this, being secretive, and doing all this evil shit, and then just keeping it. A society like that's going to crumble in upon itself. So that's where we're going to close out. Lord willing, it was edifying. Again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Shalom, you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until next one, Lord willing. Shalom.